We're going to start studying Hilchot Teshuva of Rambam together, Likrat Yamim Hanoraim, the upcoming season of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Definitely appropriate to review together some of the Hilchot Teshuva. Rambam writes, Kol mitzvot shebatorah, any of the mitzvot of Torah, both positive and negative ones, Im avar adam al achad mehen, if you transgress them, whether it was out of negligence, accidentally, unintentionally, or if it was intentional, chayav litvadot lifnei ha'el baruch hu. When you want to do tshuva, one of the major components of tshuva is confession. You have to actually say vidui dvarim with words. Thinking of the fact that you did wrongdoing is not merely sufficient. Shenemar ish o isha ki yasu b'kol chatot ha'adam lim'ol ma'al b'Hashem, man or woman that has sinned, ve'ashma nefesh hahim, ve'hitvadu et chatatam asher asu. They have to confess the sins that they've done. Ze vidui dvarim, says the Rambam. This is the component of vidui. And vidui is vidui dvarim. It's not, again, sufficient to think of it in your mind that I regret having done it. Now, this vidui is by itself a mitzvat aseh. It's one of the positive mitzvot of the Torah. Now, how do you do it? Ketzad mitvadeh. Omer, he says, Ana Hashem, chatati aviti pashati lefanecha. I have sinned. Now, generally speaking, when we talk about chet, avon, upesha, there are three different levels from easy to harder. Chet is unintentional. Avon is when you are aware of the fact that you're doing a wrongdoing, but you can't control it. You have tava, you have desire, and you succumb to that desire. Pesha means you don't have to really do it. It's not that you succumb to the desire, but it's that you don't care, really. You don't care going against the mitzvah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's the reason that you're doing what you're doing. Zeikaro shel vidui. If a person says, this is what I did, chatati aviti pashati, asiti kach vekach, you explain what you have done wrong, nichamti uboshti b'maasai, I regret having done it, I am embarrassed from it, uleolam eni chozer ledavar ze, and never will I go back to doing this wrongdoing. So three main components. You explain what you did. You express the fact that you are ashamed and you regret. And you accept upon yourself never to go back to it. Right? So vidui, charata, and kabbalah le'atid. That is the main part of the mitzvah of vidui. Zehu ikaro shel vidui. V'chol hamarbe leitvadot, the more you do it, u'ma'arich b'inyan zeh harei ze meshubach. We used to kol hamarbe lesaper b'yisiat Mitzrayim harei ze meshubach, but here also is another one, kol hamarbe harei ze meshubach. The more vidui you say, the more you explain it, the better it is. Now, the mitzvah on Yom Kippurim, the main mitzvah is vidui. The mitzvah of Yom Kippurim is to say 10 times vidui. We have 5 tefillot. Each tefillah has 2 times vidui. One in the tefillah, one in the chazara of the tefillah, right? Or after the tefillah. So even if you're not davening with tzibur for whatever reason, you would have to still complete the 10 times vidui that needs to be said. V'chen ba'alei chataot v'hashamot is not just a person that sinned. Even if you're bringing a korban, you bring a korban chatat, in the time that Beit HaMikdash stood, you bring a korban asham. When you bring your korban, you need to do vidui. You put your hand on top of the korban's head, and you say vidui. En mitkaper lahen bekorbanam, the kapara will not be achieved with merely bringing the korban, spending the money, schlepping the animal, shechting it, and zerikat dam and evarim, all of that, not going to accomplish the kapara until you do vidui. Ad she'asu teshuva veyitvadu vidui devarim. Until they do proper teshuva with the steps we mentioned, and they say the confession with their words. Now, Rabbeinu Yonah in the beginning of Shiur Teshuva breaks down these 3 levels to over 20 miniature levels of step-by-step teshuva, but the 3 main things we mentioned. And the pasuk says, "V'itvada asher chata aleh." By bringing a korban, the pasuk says you have to say vidui on the sin that you did. So you need a component of teshuva and vidui, even when you're bringing a korban as an atonement. So even if you have an official atonement, you still need to do teshuva, you still need vidui devarim. And not only that, says the Rambam, v'chol chayave v'chen kol mechuyave mita, even if a person gets a capital punishment, a person that gets capital punishment still needs to do teshuva, even though that he's going to be, put to death. And the mita is the kapara. The kapara is not going to be achieved without proper teshuva and without vidui dvarim. In the words of the Rambam, kol mechuyave mitot bedin or mechuyave malkut, whether it is lashes that you are obligated to get, or even a capital punishment, and mitkaper lahem b'mitatam or b'lekiyatam, it's not going to be atoned with their death or with their getting the lashes until they actually do teshuva and they say vidui. And this is another element of this. If a person has damaged his friend, either has hurt them in their body, or amazik mamono, or you have damaged their property, stole from them, damaged their items. Even if you paid already for the damage. So how much damage? $1,000. Here's $1,000. You paid it. The guy said, machul. Or you settled it with him. Still, you have no kapara, full kapara, until you do teshuva, because the mazik mamon chavero, when you stole or you damaged property or someone's body, aside from the fact that you have sinned ben adam lechavero, an interpersonal relationship, you also have transgressed a mitzvah deoraita. Torah says, don't steal, you stole. You went against what the Torah says. So you have to appease the guy and pay, but you also have to appease Hashem for going against the Torah. And therefore, you have to still do teshuva and vidui and accept that you're never going to do that again. So that's the basic gist of the first element of teshuva that Rambam mentions in Perek Rishon in Halacha Aleph. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll continue the next halacha in the next shiur. Chazak u'baruch.